We're going to call the meeting to order. We have changed the lineup on the agenda to hopefully help spend a little more time on informational items and reports, but also allow some time to make sure that we have a quorum for those agenda items that need a vote. So we're trying it tonight as our first trial.
Before I jump into the report, many of you may have received an email from me regarding the passing of a student of ours, a nursing student, and members of her family, two of which are alum of SUNY Broome. It has received national attention. It had happened on Highway 81. And so I'm sure you've heard the story with one of those. That's right. So one of the fatalities is a current student, and we sent a notice out to the college community today, as well as two alum were fatalities, and one alum was injured, and we want to keep her and her family in our thoughts and prayers. So just wanted to make the board aware of kind of the heavy heart that we're feeling on campus. The current student is also one of our supplemental instruction peer tutors. So really not only did she have a great impact on her cohort classmates in her nursing program, but also the students that she helped tutor in biology and anatomy. So just wanted to make everyone aware and just hold that family in your thoughts and your prayers. Shifting gears a little bit, I want to welcome everyone back to a new year, a very exciting new year. Next week, we bring back the faculty and the staff, and shortly thereafter, the students will return. We have a sense of new energy and new excitement, and as educators, we really kind of enjoy the start of a semester. So I look forward to continuing our commitment with our shared mission to teaching and learning, as well as the successful transition of leadership in the spring semester. I shared with you in the report a report of the State University of New York's long-term enrollment and financial sustainability plan. It's a pretty lengthy, thorough document pulling together all 64 colleges and universities that are part of the system to provide an update on enrollment patterns, enrollment priorities and initiatives, as well as their sustainability plans. This is required or was required by law. It was received by the governor on January the 2nd and made available to all residents who were interested in going to review the document. It's thorough and it's quite comprehensive. And there are two wonderful examples of SUNY Broome and its relationship to our peer institutions. One of them deals with some work that's been done by the foundation in a program that's called Cross the Finish Line. Students are identified being close to graduating, and they may have some financial instability, and the foundation makes funds available for them to complete. And the second is a notice of our 7-week courses, or 7-week schedules. So it's been recognized and highlighted in this document. So please, the link is in the presence report, but the report itself is available. Speaking of reports, we completed the first 100 days, and the 100-day report was released on January 2nd as well. It highlights the report and comments from the stakeholders, as well as the themes I heard during my listening and learning sessions, as well as incorporates the work of our retreat process in establishing goals for moving forward. Those 3 goals being administering a new strategic plan, administering a employee satisfaction survey, and focusing attention on the strategic enrollment management plan. So you'll be hearing a lot about both the strategic plan as well as the enrollment management plan and our employee satisfaction survey as the semester goes on. Very happy with the work that we had during our time as trustees and president with our retreat. And I've included in my report the notes and next steps from our retreat, which I think Dr. Dukes captured both the tone, the tenor, and the progress that we are making as far as developing ourselves as a board and my relationship with the board and as the leader of the institution. One of our assignments is to work on a board orientation program, which is something that I'll talk to the chair about how we organize it and how we bring on new board members and what information we might want to include in a board development program. Next week is the faculty staff assembly on January the 25th. We'll be gathering once again in Baldwin Gymnasium, before welcoming our students back on the 29th. We'll begin with breakfast and the program starts promptly at 8:30. Once again, we're going to carry through our theme of this is who we are, this is who I am, and this is who we are. And really spending a great deal of time recognizing the contributions and this time the support of our employees in recognition of our students. We have a small panel of, we call them unsung heroes, essentially staff members. There's a faculty department chair who are going to be, like we did with our students in the fall, really kind of engaging in conversation about their perspectives of student success. So we're really looking forward to having people come together and share information. The rest of my report includes a few events. I attended the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration sponsored by the commission at the Tabernacle United Methodist Church on Monday. It was a wonderful event. Today was the Energy and Education Kickoff at Shenango Forks High School. And tomorrow is a press conference for a really exciting program that we are developing with NYSEG on line worker training. So if you are so inclined and not afraid of heights, this may be a program that you might encourage people to consider. And that includes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? I just note, I thought in the proposed next steps that were outlined in the timeline made sense for the work that we did with the board and the president. So thank you for that. Anything else for Dr. Hawkins? All right, moving on to academic affairs, Dr. Penny Haynes.
Our written report is in the packet. A couple of things I'll highlight before I ask someone to come up and present. It's not quite as large a packet this month since faculty were off in December and January, but Jesse and his enrollment team and the marketing team have been very busy. So we have some more College Express events that we're happy to talk about. Maine Endwell, we're going there on January 30th. We are trying to figure out how we're going to do that College Express event. Marathon has agreed to do one, so we'll be accepting their entire class on March 1st. Franklin and Otsego County on April 11th. And then we still have in the pipeline Johnson City and Gilbertsville, Mount Upton. And then hopefully you all get a chance to either go to the theater or something and see some of our really fantastic new videos that are out. We had some significant grant money that we were able to produce 5 videos from faculty who have participated in our Pathways group. And they're really great professional, done by Novel Studios, really great professional videos highlighting some of our programs. And they'll be in the theaters. They're in Vestal Town Square and Bingham Stadium 12. And we'll also be on Spectrum News very soon. So I'm pretty pleased about that. And I think you'll find them really, really nice. They really do a great job highlighting our programs. For the rest of my report, I'm going to ask Dr. Kim McLean, who is our Dean of Institutional Effectiveness and Health Sciences, as well as our AVP, to just talk briefly about our Fast Facts and our data book. So go ahead, Kim.
Okay. All right. Thanks for having me. And Diana passed out the Fast Facts for you. So I'm just going to highlight. I'm not going to go through all of it because it's a lot. So this is an annual report that we post on our website, and it just gives kind of a high level overview of various data points that we keep track of. They're okay. Well, you might not be able to see, sorry. So enrollment, we break it down by division. We talk about graduates, student demographics, different student types, ethnicity, race. We have fast forward data within here, degrees that we've awarded over the last year. Our course modalities over the last year, financial aid and scholarships that have been awarded, and our continuing education and workforce activities are also included on here as well. So this is posted on our website. And what Penny, Jossie, and I are working on right now is a little, like a card, a pocket-sized card with that type of information, this type of information that you could just, put in your purse or your briefcase or whatever, talking points about the institution. And that's also really in line with what our goal 5 for our strategic enrollment management plan for looking at the branding of the college. So it kind of gives us a little elevator speech, talking points, so to speak. Okay. And then the next piece that I just want to highlight, I did not bring it. I'm just going to kind of show it to you a little bit. It is very dense with data, so it would not be interesting to go through, but I do suggest that you do, if you are interested in the data within here. It is posted on our website. And you can see here's what our webpage looks like. We do have the last few data book years posted on here. And within the data book, you'll find trends by program for enrollment, admissions. You can see how many apply for each program, how many are accepted, the yield, student outcomes, financial institution, finances for the institution, trends for that, and what else? There's so much information in it, but it's a really good, useful source of information. In addition, I just wanted to point out, just in case you don't know, we also we do an annual graduate transfer report for our students, and that is always posted. We usually do it around January because that's when we get all the certifications done. We have a placement report for our graduates as well, posted on there. And I do want to give a shout out to Larry's here, Larry Allen and Marija Sankapali, who's a newer member of our IE department. These things would not be possible without them. And it's an extensive amount of work. So I really want to thank them for that.
Just, can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. On the transfer rate, so is that through a 4-year or is it?
This I mean, well, it's transfer really to any institution beyond SUNY
It could be
Broome.
another community.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we, I guess, well, maybe we can take it offline, but then how do you gauge, like, is that good, bad, or indifferent, right? Like, is a 30% transfer rate of total graduates?
Yeah, we definitely can disaggregate this.
Right.
Because there's probably a great deal that we can learn from where they're going, who they are,
Right.
how old they are even.
Well, especially if they're transferring to another community college, like why? Right?
Yeah.
It's the-
So, and we could talk about it whenever you would like, but we do our transfer report. It's also a pretty neat report as well. We do trend data for that. So you could see it by program, how many of the students transferred out and where they went. So that might be something to look at. Yeah, and we can get more information for you.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. All right, so Penny asked me to just give some updates about our strategic enrollment management plan. So if it moves forward. There we go. Okay. All right, so you probably recall we have 5 goals in our strategic enrollment management plan. I'm really just going to highlight our enrollment and retention goals this evening. We've done a lot of work, so I'll just talk about a little bit of it and show you some of the data associated with it. Got a little bit of lagging. So this is the metrics tracker that the IE office has developed to track the progress of the metrics, the key performance indicators associated with our strategic enrollment management plan. And I'm sure it's something that I know Dr. Huppets, he'll get regular updates from us about this, that he'll share. It shows the overall goals, so the metrics associated with each goal. And then for the enrollment and retention goals, what we've done is broken it down by student type. So we could really look at progress we've made by, for example, new first-time students, transfer students, nursing and STEM students. And I'm actually going to highlight nursing and STEM students this evening. All right. So just talk about retention, which is a really important aspect, of course, at the college. We've done a lot of work with retention, as you've heard in many of our reports over the last couple of years. So we did have a dip back in the 18-19 year, so down to 53% and then down to 51.8%. But then we've been slowly and steadily increasing since that time. So since fall 20 to 21, we have increased by 2.1 percentage points, which is, it's good, it's positive. So some of the initiatives that we've been doing to work towards retention, you've heard a lot about pathways, I think, over the last year or two. And I think that's made a lot of progress in this area. So with pathways, we've clarified programs across the college, worked on removing barriers like excessive credits for the program, hidden prerequisites. We've implemented a holistic advising model for students to have that one person that they can go to help them throughout their academic career. We have revised our intake survey. So now we're looking at students holistically when they enter the college and helping to connect them to all the resources they need on campus to be successful. We have our student success coaches, and we've implemented Career Coach, Jesse. Career Coach has also been implemented at the outset of admissions, so that way students can really start working on getting on the right career path. And then our fall to spring retention. So that's always a little bit more. So this is if students were registered and enrolled in fall, did they come back in the spring? So we see here that we had a dip, and this is like the COVID years, right? So we did take a ding everywhere, really. But since that time, it has been steadily increasing. So fall 20 to spring 21, it's increased since then. And since spring 21, we've increased by 4.9 percentage points in our fall to spring retention. And so in addition to the things that I've already mentioned, I think one of the other big things that have really helped with this is we've really enhanced our outreach initiatives and to get students to re-register for the next semester. And the advisors have really done a great job in doing that. Okay. Here's another metric that I don't think we've talked a lot about, but attempted credit hours earned. So the question here is, did students earn credit for the course that they started? And this is a really important metric because if students complete credits, they're going to complete their degree. So we've really been looking a lot at this. And we've made a ton of improvement in this over the years. It's actually quite remarkable to me. So since fall 2020, we did take a dip again, around COVID, 58.2%, but it has increased every year, and we're actually at an all-time high since 2011. So I think that's really great. And again, it talks. I think this reflects the work that the faculty did with pathways, clarifying their programs, the work that advisors do with holistic advising, and helping students to take the courses that they really need. And then two areas I'm going to highlight that are part of the strategic enrollment management plan are all our STEM programs and our nursing programs. So STEM has, they've made a lot of improvements over the last couple of years. There's been an increase of 12 FTEs in fall 2023 from fall 2022. And that's a 6.2% increase of FTEs over the last year. I know Dr. Mariatala has talked a lot about all the initiatives in STEM. So some of the ones that I'll just highlight, they've done a really great job using labor market data to look at what the economy really needs, what our local partners need. There's been a number of STEM-related grants that I know you've shared about here, so I won't go into detail about that. And enhanced partnerships with BU and our community partners. And then the last piece, right here, nursing program enrollment trends. So we've also seen a big increase in enrollment for our nursing program. There's been an increase of 10 more FTEs than last fall, which is a 16% increase in FTEs. So some of the things that we've done in our nursing area, and I want to thank Michelle McKay, our Associate Dean for Nursing, for her leadership and the hard work that the nursing department has put forward for you to see these numbers. We've expanded the size of our incoming fall cohort from, I think we started with 76 to 96. We are now accepting students for every spring instead of every other spring for our evening weekend program. And we have a new LPN ENT pathway program, and our inaugural cohort actually starts this spring, which we're really excited about. We have a full class. It's a really big deal in the community, and I really do want to thank Michelle for her work on that. Some of the other things that we've done to help create a pipeline in health studies, we've developed, micro credentials to help get students kind of going towards the nursing pathway. And with our Department of Labor grant, we were able to develop a TEAS prep course. And you need, for those of you who may not know, you need to take the TEAS exam in order to be considered for admission into the nursing program. So last fall, we had a full class for our health study students who were interested in the nursing program. They successfully completed the course. We were able to provide waivers for the fee. It's about $120 to take that test for those students. And we had a new cohort of students in our TEAS test prep course start last week. And something new for this semester, we will actually be administering the TEAS exam on campus, and we will be able to offer it free of charge for these students in the program. So a huge barrier lifted from them as well. Yes. And that is all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. It's very interesting. Yeah. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to student assembly. Alejandro?
Hello, I don't really have much to report. We're just excited to start the semester, and I think the assembly is going to do a really good job again this upcoming semester.
Tell about your meeting.
Okay, so I had a meeting with President Stenger and yesterday, and I think it was a really good meeting. It was, I got to meet him a little bit, and we talked about basically the B2B program and how to work together. And the whole purpose of the meeting for me and what I talked to him about was just, creating a connection with him and with the school so that we can work together, compared to, feeling like one school is making decisions that works best for them without, the well-being of the other school, being in mind, and things like that. So him and I agreed on that, and I think it's going to be a good relationship, and I'll meet with him again, and I think it was a good meeting, and we can talk about it more if you guys have questions. But
Good. Are you going to meet any additional times, or how did you leave it?
So he said that he was going to meet first with President Hawkins, then probably with the board, and then him and I will meet again.
Thank you for your leadership, Alejandro. That's awesome.
Yes.
Any
Yeah.
questions for Alejandro? Great, thank you for that. All right, the foundation report, Kathy?
Well, my report's in the package. There's a lot of detail. Even when the semester is not in session, we do have a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Primarily as it comes to fundraising, because the majority of the gifts that we bring in a given year usually occur within the last 10 weeks of the calendar year. So it was a great year end for us, and we were very pleased that people continue to stand up and show their appreciation and investment in Broome. Our financial situation as of November 23rd was that our foundation's total investment portfolio was $38.82 million, of which 40.56 million is endowed. And I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense, is that there are pieces of the endowed fund that are not restricted for a particular purpose that are included in the endowed pool. The foundation's total assets were 46.3 million, including beneficial interests and perpetual trusts, compared to fiscal year end last year with a total assets of 46.5 million. We had a surplus, year-to-date surplus as of the end of November, $4,600, believe it or not. Contributing to this was a realized gain of $12.4 million and an unrealized loss of approximately $12.18 million. Now, that sounds absolutely unbelievable, but the reality is that was the result of changing an allocation policy within our portfolio. So when the movement was made, it showed a unrealized loss and a realized gain. So it's not as though we specifically, it was really about allocating a different way in which we were investing the funds. Our fundraising campaigns are well underway, and the fall campaigns are doing very well. Just wanted to let you know that our student giving campaign, which is our students who have volunteered to help with the philanthropy effort, they award scholarships and they are halfway to their goal for the year. And so that means that at least 2 students are going to be getting scholarships this year. But the goal, and I have every reason to believe they'll meet that goal, will have 4 of their peers receiving a scholarship. It's called the Student Peer Scholarship. We're working on a number of alumni engagement activities. We have an event with Black Bears Hockey, and as of late this afternoon, we have 38 people registered, and that is going to be held on Saturday, February 24th. We have a lot of alumni who work here at the college who this is one of their favorite events, and they like to come. And so we are having an increased attendance in our events. We've got a lot of new people, first time attendees, so we're pretty excited about that. Broome Magazine is in the planning and interviewing stage right now, and I did want to just give a shout out to our Marcom peers, specifically Elizabeth Costanzo-Stewart, who is the campus writer. She does a phenomenal job in telling the story of SUNY Broome. So we're just really grateful to have her expertise, and of course Matt Evers with our photography. And we're pretty excited because our feature article this time around is going to feature alumni who have and continue to save lives every day in their work based on what they do. So I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but we have 3 very different, very interesting people who are all SUNY Broome alum, and you're going to hear more about their path from Broome to where they are today. I'm really pleased and excited to tell you, probably going to hear more about that. I know it's probably in someone's report, but we were honored, and I want to thank Dean Mariotola for introducing us to the folks from Avangrid Foundation. Avangrid is the parent company of NYSEG, and their foundation, she had the opportunity to meet some folks and they wanted to meet us. And so what ultimately ended up happening in about the last 8 weeks of the calendar year was we met with Avangrid, and also we shared a lot of the data that Dr. McLean and Larry prepared, that kind of information. And I think they were rather startled to see the demographics of our students. And so we had a few meetings and we were talking about, they were looking to make an investment in our area and supporting the community college. And when push came to shove, one of the questions that he asked was, where is it needed most right now? Where could you do the most good? We have a lot of student scholarships. We have a lot of need-based grants and aid. And so we offered the idea of supporting the food pantry. And so I'm honored to tell you that they committed $100,000 to relocate and renovate and reopen the campus food pantry and clothing closet. So this is a significant commitment by Avangrid with us, and we greatly appreciate it. And that was a team-wide effort across the board with every department that we work with. So wanted to thank you for that. There will be a formal ribbon cutting probably within the next 2 to 3 months, and we will recognize Avangrid for their commitment to support our students, and so you'll all be invited to that. We're currently working on donors who are still feel that they feel strongly about endowing scholarships for students. As a community college, you see, within the system, we do very well with student support. And we rank up there towards the top, especially a school of our size, in terms of how much money we're raising and able to administer to students on an annual basis. And the spring scholarship application is open now. We're getting a lot of students, both incoming students from local high schools who are in their senior year, and also adult students, people who, and current continuing students who are already enrolled to support them into the fall. There are some transfer scholarships that we offer to students who will be graduating at the end of December, and we also do it again in May. And what that does is it allows, if they are moving on to a transfer institution within the criteria of some of the scholarships, we will continue, if they meet the criteria, support them when they go on to their four-year institution. We're busy, we're having a great year so far, and thank you all for your attention.
So the music and the food pantry. Yeah, really good. Thank you, Kathy. Any questions for Kathy? All right, Dave is not here. Facilities? Oh, sorry, I forgot. Oh, I forgot, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair. For Dave is not here today, I'm filling in for Dave. You have our report in the packet. I'll get the highlights of the report. Whole science and student services rescue project is nearing completion. We are currently working on the punch list items. We'll schedule our final inspection as soon as the punch list is done. Design work and cost estimates for the decoration renovation project have been completed and reviewed by the project team. Additional project cost estimate is being finalized by the construction manager of the RV. We are still awaiting building permits for the photo lab relocation project in all science, library, business building, cooling towers, and for pedestrians, HVAC replacement. We are closely working with county to expedite the building permit process. Design work has been completed for the replacement of Decker HVAC system. We are now working with the architect to finalize the bid documents. Work has also begun to relocate both food pantry and the floating closet to the old science building. We expect to complete the work before the start of the upcoming semester. A contract has been finalized with IK Systems for campus-wide security cameras. A walkthrough was planned with the contractor this week, but because of bad weather, we have to reschedule it to next week. Our campus-wide lock project is progressing well. We were able to complete few buildings, and work is ongoing in Hales buildings, student services, and the old science. Mini master plan studies underway to examine the best possible uses of our student service, library, old science, and rails building, which will include evaluation and the recommendation for a preferred one-stop shop. We have a user group meeting coming up and scheduled for the 23rd of this month. We also have the following projects in the pipeline. Most of them we are awaiting contract approvals. The rest of them, rest of them are in the design phase. And there, so that concludes my report. And with that, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. All right, Michael Sullivan, budget and finance update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in your packet, you have a number of reports. First one is the monthly budget forecast. which is the same as it has been for the last couple of months, may modify or update those figures probably next month after we have pretty solid spring enrollment numbers. Second item in the packet is the annual report. This is the annual report we're required to submit to SUNY. Generally, that's required at the end of October. Just timing wise, back and forth with SUNY with some very minor edits. So you've got the final document just as information. Just speaking of the annual report, currently Bonadeo is completing its audit for the college's 22-23 financial year. And I anticipate that that'll be to the board either in February or March board meeting. The governor's budget was presented this week. And two items really, the operating budget side, the governor's proposing continuation of what I would call maintenance of effort, the floor 100% of what your prior year state aid is. You see in the monthly forecast, that's about 13 million. So no increase, but
No increase for a long time, right?
probably for us, this has been in place for the last 3 years. The other item in the governor's budget, following the county approving 3 capital projects, the governor is proposing the state aid, the 50% match for 3 projects. Phase 4 Decker, which is total 3.8 million, 50% of state aid. 900,000 for technology enhancements to the college, and 500,000 for renovation of the business building roof. So those 3 projects, that'll be the best case on or about April 1, and then those projects get set up. So now that is pretty close to the end stage, we also are currently preparing the capital program for next year. That'll come to the board in February because the county requires all county departments, and it includes SUNY Broome, to submit capital plans for the county's 2025 fiscal year, generally in the end of February or the beginning of March. So having multiple capital years that we're working with, including the capital project process. We also, we're in the middle. We're still auditing last year. We're giving you an update in the current year, and we started the preparation for the next year's budget, 24-25, the operating budget. Started that yesterday, and we'll conclude that with a presentation to the board, generally in the April time period, with a final. County then makes a recommendation for sponsor share, and then kind of the final answer will come back to the board in June with the tuition fee schedule and final budget. So that's about a 6-month process, and we just started that yesterday. Shifting gears just from the college is a major partner with the Housing Corp related to the refinancing of the housing. We continue to make progress with due diligence with Moody's. Again, we're requesting a private rating from them. If we like the rating, then it'll be public. If we don't like the rating, we don't have to go public. Absent what I would consider investment grade rating from Moody's, we're also out with the institutional investors having conversations about refinancing the project. I think we're getting good interest in activity, so I feel cautiously optimistic that we'll convert this 10-year financing through the bank to a subsequent 30-year long-term financing for the project. Probably well beyond my lifetime. So we have to have that concluded by on or about November 1. So we still have quite a bit of time to work all the details out. The rest of the items are informational in your packet, and that concludes my report.
Questions for Michael? Thank you very much. All right, Jesse, media report.
Standard report.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on then to 2.0 approval of the minutes, December 14, 2023 Board of Trustees. Is there a motion? All opposed? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. 3.0, there was no meeting for F and F. The agenda was short. There are no preferred agenda action items. Moving on to 5.0 action items, 5.1, recommend approval of payroll certification. Motion.
Both.
Second. Move. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.2, recommend approval of Avangrid Foundation Campus Food Pantry and Clothing Closet Grant Award. Motion.
Second.
Anthony, moved it. Did you hear that, Dave? Yep. And Jim,
Who's second?
Anthony and Jim Morgan. Any discussion?
You're not the only one.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? All right. Are there any other items to come before the board? All right, I don't believe is there any motion for the executive session? All right, I want to take a motion to adjourn. Jim, second. Anthony? All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Stay warm today. Yeah.